So in a previous video, I talked about what ketones are and where they come from, basically from fat. So now I'm going to explain more about how ketones work, basically what they do. So one of the very important properties of ketones is that they are fuel for the brain and for other organs of the body, except the liver, where they are made. And this becomes very important during starvation or fasting. It happens with an overnight fast. It happens if we exercise, we will raise ketone levels, and ketones then can become a fuel for the brain and for other organs. So, this application is important for example, people with Alzheimer's disease or Parkinson's disease who have insulin resistance in the brain and into nerve cells, and people with epilepsy who could benefit from ketones because ketones can serve then as an alternative fuel in place of glucose. So one of the other important characteristics of ketones is that they enter and drive pathways that have to do with inflammation in our metabolism. So they work directly by altering substances that cause inflammation. They also work by decreasing the production of free radicals or reactive oxygen species, they're called. These are molecules that damage surrounding tissues and can cause inflammation. And they're also scavengers of these same damaging molecules. So several ways in which ketones are anti-inflammatory, help reduce inflammation in our body. And this could be important to people who, for example, are suffering from arthritis, lung diseases with inflammation, and that type of thing. Another thing that ketones do are to help break down fat. So if we are eating a lot of glucose and our insulin levels tend to be on the high side, we will tend to put on fat, and higher insulin levels keep it there. And this is a big problem for people with type 2 diabetes, for example. They often struggle tremendously with losing weight because their insulin levels are always high and always tend to keep the fat on their body. So by increasing ketone levels, we reduce the blood sugar and reduce insulin levels. And this can happen gradually over time, that the insulin level will get lower and lower. But even taking a package of ketones, salts, for example, will lower the blood sugar and insulin levels, at least for several hours. And by reducing the insulin level, that allows fat to be burned, and ketones directly help burn fat. So in that way, we can help lose fat from our bodies. Ketones also help to control some hormones that have to do with appetite and suppressing appetite specifically. So if you're trying to lose weight, the combination of ketones stimulating the burning of fat and reducing appetite, this can be very effective to help you lose weight, especially if it's combined with a low-carb, higher-fat ketogenic diet. So another important factor is that increasing ketone levels, and especially if you're combining it with a keto diet, can help preserve muscle while we're losing weight. In a typical higher carbohydrate diet, we tend to lose muscle because our brains and other organs in our body need glucose. And one way to get it is by breaking down muscle when we're losing weight. If you are eating fewer calories than you are burning, you might start burning muscle. And muscle is very important to helping to maintain your weight. It's very important functionally as we age. So the last thing we want to do is to break down muscle while we're losing weight. So if we do a low-carb ketogenic diet and start burning fat instead of glucose as our primary fuel, there will not be a need to break down muscle. So much less likely that we will break down and lose muscle mass while we're losing weight if we do it in a ketogenic way by increasing ketone levels, eating lower carb, higher fat, and possibly adding ketone supplements and foods that are ketogenic like coconut and MCT oil. So those are some of the many different properties of ketones and what they can do. People report many, health benefits from ketones that haven't been explained scientifically yet. A lot of them may have to do with them operating as a fuel in the brain and helping to control things like sleep and memory and just a general feeling of well-being, which many people report when they are taking ketone salts or if they are on a ketogenic type of diet. So that is the story about ketones and what they do.